What if the key to a life well lived lay not in the pursuits of happiness, but in the acceptance of pain? In a small, windswept village perched on the edge of the sea, there lived a young man named Theo. His days flowed together like the rhythm of the tides, peaceful yet unremarkable. Theo spent his time helping his father with fishing, casting nets into the ocean and drawing them in with the hopes of a bountiful catch. Life was simple, but it brought a quiet contentment. Yet, beneath that calm surface, Theo felt an unsettling restlessness. As he watched the boats return, filled with joy and laughter, a thought gnawed at him. What was his purpose? What was he meant to achieve in this fleeting existence? Echoing in his mind was a truth whispered by the Stoics: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of crimson, a storm loomed on the horizon. It crashed into the village with a fury unparalleled, uprooting trees and threatening the very livelihoods of those who called it home. Theo's family boat, their sole means of sustenance, was swept away by the relentless tide. His heart felt like it had shattered alongside the vessel that held their hopes. Months passed, and the storm's aftermath lay heavy on the community. Loss nestled deep within their hearts, creating a palpable darkness. In his sorrow, Theo wandered along the shore, seeking answers from the unforgiving ocean. One day, he encountered an old fisherman, a stooped figure who appeared to have weathered many storms himself. "What do you do when life casts you adrift?" Theo asked, his voice trembling with despair. The old man gazed at the horizon and replied with quiet strength, "It is not the storms that determine our fate, but how we sail in response to them. The universe is indifferent to our suffering, yet we are called to respond with virtue." These words struck Theo like the first rays of dawn piercing through a cold night. He understood then that he had been waiting for circumstances to change, and in doing so had neglected the power of choice and resilience that lay within him. Inspired, Theo resolved to become the anchor for his family and community in this turbulent time. With unwavering determination, he joined forces with his neighbors. They pooled their resources, rebuilt homes, and fashioned new boats from the remnants of the old. Theo spoke of the Stoic idea of amor fati, the love of fate, reminding them that in adversity lies the seed of growth. Slowly, life began to flourish again. The villagers learned to adapt, to respect the force of nature, knowing there was a force they could not control. Each day brought new challenges, yet together they faced them with a spirit of camaraderie instilled by Theo's steadfast example. Years later, as Theo now stood staring at the vast, ever-churning sea, he realized that the storms had shaped him more than he could have ever imagined. He had learned to embrace the turmoil of life, to practice the dichotomy of control, recognizing what he could change and what he must accept. He turned to the horizon, saying to himself, "What stands in my way becomes my way." As the gentle waves lapped at his feet, Theo understood the quiet strength of Stoic wisdom. It was not the circumstances that defined his life, but his response to them that forged his character and purpose. So what do you choose to do when life throws you into the storm? Will you resist, or will you learn to sail? Remember, like Theo, you too have the power to navigate the tides of fate.